Are the RCDs you're installing a safety precaution or a lethal accident waiting to happen? They might be the latter if you have these solar PV panels, but it might also be a problem if you have these generators, or these EVs capable of transferring power to the grid, or even just these storage batteries that you charge up with cheap off-peak electricity and then use during on-peak times. There's been a lot of confusion and near hysteria in the electrical industry recently surrounding RCDs and the need for them to be bi-directional, so let's get some clarity. First of all, let's consider the problem. We'll focus on solar PV panels in this video, although the principles apply in all those areas just mentioned. If you've got solar panels connected to an inverter that then feeds into a battery storage system and then into your consumer unit, then it's probably running through a protective device inside there that then feeds the rest of the property. If the cables in this installation are buried in a wall less than 50 millimeters deep without any mechanical protection, as they tend to be, then that circuit will require RCD protection. This is where problems start to arise. If you look at most MCBs next to most RCBOs, you'll notice a distinct difference between the two terminals. The terminals on the MCB don't have any specific markings on them. The RCBO, however, the terminals clearly marked with L in, L out and N out. That may seem insignificant, but it's actually really important because it indicates a fundamental difference between these two devices. Namely, one is bi-directional, one is unidirectional. Because the terminals on the MCB aren't clearly marked, it means that it will monitor the current and disconnect if too much flows, no matter which way the power passes through the device. However, because the RCBO does have clearly marked in and out terminals, that means it has to be connected up so that the power passes through it in the right direction. Now, the interesting and quite frankly dangerous part is that the device will still trip under fault conditions. But if it is connected up the wrong way round and power is still connected to the outgoing terminals, say from a device that generates electricity, like a solar PV panel, then it could become damaged. But it could still reset, allow current to flow through it perfectly happily, but then if a fault occurs again, because the device is now damaged, it won't trip, leaving a potentially dangerous fault in the circuit. Before we go on, just a reminder that if you're watching this on any of our social media platforms, then click the link to watch it as part of our free training package. You'll get a certificate and it'll count towards your annual CPD requirement. If you're already watching it as part of that package, then you are a beautiful genius. Back to it. The damage occurs because inside modern RCBOs there's a little PCB which controls a solenoid. The PCB is connected across the line and neutral, but they're connected on the downstream side of the contact that disconnects in the event of a fault. So if a fault occurs and the RCBO trips under circumstances where it's protecting a circuit that doesn't send power back the other way, the PCB also disconnects from the supply. If, however, a unidirectional device is used on a circuit that does send power back the other way, the PCB stays energized after the fault has occurred because it's being fed by the alternative supply. This can cause damage to the PCB and also cause the solenoid it controls to burn out. The solution is simple. An extra contact is placed in the conductor powering the PCB and is mechanically linked to the main contact. When the device trips under fault conditions or the test button is pressed, the PCB is also disconnected in the RCBO. This means that the power can come at the RCBO from either direction without damaging it. And just to be really clear, if an RCBO is double pole or neutral switching, that does not automatically make it bi-directional. Double check the data sheet. This problem with inappropriately used unidirectional devices led to a kind of emergency third amendment to the 18th edition of the Regs being released that only contained one regulation, something I've never seen happen in my more than 25 years as an electrician. We find it in regulation 530.3201, which reads, "Selection and erection of equipment for protection shall take account of appropriate use of either a unidirectional protective device or a bi-directional protective device." Now, unfortunately, this has led a lot of people freaking out and thinking that unidirectional devices are dangerous, shouldn't be used, were no longer available, and they have to install bi-directional devices on all circuits. Even I was a little surprised when BG sent me a sample of their brand new updated circuit protection consumer unit, fully stacked out with, you guessed it, unidirectional RCBOs. I kind of thought they were falling behind the times a bit. But let's just reread that new regulation 530.3.201. Again, it says to take account of either a unidirectional or a bi-directional device. It isn't saying never use a unidirectional one again. And it would be a bit silly to use a bi-directional device when you don't need to, because they are actually more expensive. And if power isn't likely to ever flow through them in both directions, then it's a feature that you simply don't need. So to get the right device is simple. Ask yourself if there's any power generating equipment connected to the protective device. If there isn't, install a unidirectional device and save yourself some money. If there is, get a bi-directional one instead. You'll be able to tell the difference from data sheets and also the markings on the terminals if they're clearly marked, line and load, in and out and so on. They're more likely to be unidirectional. This bi-directional RCBO from BG does have terminal markings showing L1, N1 and L2 and so on, but this does not indicate that there's a right or a wrong way for power to transfer through them. So there we go, that's what we mean by a bi-directional protective device. If you're watching on our training platform, then answer the multiple choice questions that follow and move on to the next video. If you're watching on one of our social media channels, then click the link to move over to the free training and get yourself a certificate, or you can watch the same video in the series right here to find out how, just for once, a change to the regs made our lives as electricians easier. All that remains in this video is to say thank you very much for watching.